opt-in pages and how important it is. And I've just put here on this thing here, ticking along, day 35, opt-in page, part 2, own your followers. Okay, what do I mean by own your followers? Well, let's think about it. Any social media platform, you don't own it, which means it's rented land. And if it's rented land, you can get kicked off that land if the landlord doesn't like the cut of your jib. In other words, you do something wrong, they don't like you, you say something wrong or something happens, it goes wrong, you try an advert, it's not the right thing, you fall foul of their policies and you're off. And that's it. And at that point, you lose control of everyone who was following you. Is this important? Well, just ask Donald Trump, who had 90 million Twitter followers and for 10 years loved the fact that he could deliver direct to the public without going through the news media agencies or anything like that. He could circumvent it. He could go straight to his followers and do it directly in his tweets, and he was prolific at it. And to be honest, it generated so many news headlines and so many news articles. It was incredibly powerful. But just before his term as president ended, Twitter banned him. I don't know. Many would argue, why didn't they ban him 4 years, before? But they didn't. But they did actually ban him. So after he left being president, is it a coincidence that we don't hear much from him? Well, yes, you would have expected a drop. But what happened? He lost his 90 million followers. And I hazard a guess that he did not have their details and did not have a way of connecting with them on another platform, if he was allowed on another platform. However, what have we heard recently? He's trying to invent his own platform, I guess, so that he can say whatever he wants, and you can't kick yourself off your own thing, or can you? But for most of us that can't afford to set that up, what we need to do is get people off the rented property social media platforms and get them in to your email list. Your email list is vital. It is a business asset. So a lot of people don't realize that. It is a business asset. And you can do it. Look, here we are. I'm here. And what we got, this copy. So I've been messing about on here, creating this, just putting it together. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to get this exchange of value. So we will give something valuable, you give something valuable to us, which is your email. Now, the fact that you own that email, and all right, someone can unsubscribe and things like that, but the vast majority of people don't, which means that you have an asset because you've got a direct conduit, a direct marketing channel to that person. Think about some of the others. Twitter, do you see every tweet that goes out? No. Facebook, do you see every post? Even when you're following people, do you see every Facebook post that people put out there? No. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, you miss things. And you could argue, well, it's the same with emails. Yes, it is. But that email still sits in somebody's inbox, doesn't it? And they've got to either delete it, read it, or whatever. They've got to take some sort of action to clean out their email inbox. If you think about Facebook feed, it's gone, hasn't it? Instagram, it's gone. Twitter, it's gone. And you wouldn't even know there had been one. Whereas if it's in your emails and you can see buildup of emails from me, then you might get to the point where you actually open one. And it's that ability to directly do it without anyone saying, no, you can't send that many emails. No, you can only send an email on a Tuesday. No, you can't put that wording in an email. You are in control. You are in control. And that is very powerful because it means that whenever something is happening in your business that is congruent with what the original reason somebody joined your list for, okay, so it's the same sort of marketing or the same sort of topics that you're talking about, you can send something out to them. So it could be something of value, it could be something really interesting, it could be something that they could use straight away, it could be an invite to watch you do some live training, a masterclass, or it could be to get a phone call or something like that. You are in control of being able to deliver that. Because if you've tried Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, and what have you, depending on what you put in there, and some people, the wording of things can be problematic. For some people, they get banned for doing something that, is only doing their business. So I know there's been talk of people who, if they are in the business of, say, underwear, swimwear, those sort of things, when they put images in of the models, am I looking at the right camera? Yeah. when they put images in of people modeling their clothing, they get banned for saying that these are inappropriate images. And you kind of think, well, that's crazy, isn't it? I want to advertise this and I'm not being allowed to because they don't understand the fact that this is my business, which is, swimwear or underwear or whatever it is. So there's lots of people who find themselves in that position. And property, it can be quite hard to advertise property. I'm doing some ads at the moment and they keep getting knocked back and rejected and stuff. And you're under pressure all the time here. Now, if you've got people on an email list, you can send them and they vote with their feet. So they can unsubscribe, they can open, or they can and do nothing. They can delete it, or they can open it and take action. But they can only do that if you've got them on your email list. And this is the key thing. A lot of people spend a lot of time nurturing the list on the social media and getting their followings up, their fans, their subscribers, whatever it is, higher and higher and higher. What you should be doing is then inviting people to come off that platform into your ecosphere, because you want to be able to talk to them whenever you want, not when somebody else determines you can or can't. And you want to be able to say what you want to say. So property is very difficult because they say it can be prejudicial and you're not talking to everyone and you are excluding certain areas and things. Well, it may be, but that's possibly a very good property reason. If you are doing high-rise apartments, well, you don't find those in the suburbs. So there's no point targeting the suburbs. And you might just want to go straight into the city centre. Well, sometimes Facebook kicks it out and says, no, you can't do that because, you should be talking to everyone. You're prejudiced against people that don't own a high-rise apartment. It's kind of nonsense, but that's what can happen. So it's good to do that, but it's better to get the details onto your email list. And yesterday we spoke about the fact that, you set up an opt-in. But I just wanted to reinforce a couple of things, to say how fickle and how dangerous it is to build your business on somebody else's land. And that's what social media platforms are. They are somebody else's land. You are the tenant and you pay rent, and that rent is, basically nothing. So, I do find it funny when people get upset with social media platforms saying this is outrageous. And I think you're not actually paying for it. It's free. It's only the people that pay for ads that ought to have, a reason to grumble when they are paying to supposedly get a service and they're not getting the service. But for everyone else, hey, it's not yours, but you got it for free. So you should just pipe down a bit. But you must start talking to people about things off platform. The weird thing is, the social media platforms are going bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're wanting to keep you within their sphere. So it can be quite hard. If you put direct links into something that goes off platform, it's not going to get promoted very well. Because they don't want you to leave. If you and they are trying to come up with ways that you can kind of complete things, fill things in without leaving the platform. So that I'm sure there'll be a way very soon where you could subscribe to a list or get involved in something and not leave the platform. Messenger is a great way of doing it. Messenger is a great way whereby you can ask for someone's phone number and email. and you can store that as well, and then you can link it to your autoresponder. But the trouble with Messenger is you can't go back to people with marketing messages after 24 hours. There's all sorts of things that go on, and you can fall foul of messaging. You can get suspended if you start sending messages that don't relate to certain categories of things. I go on and I go on and I go on. So can you see that when you're on someone else's land, you have to play by their rules? What you want to do is say, hang on, I understand my customer better than they do. I know the message I want to say to them. My customers love my message, and my customers interact with me. And if that means that I have to take them off your platform, I will. And that's what you've got to do. So you've now got to think to yourself, okay, my followers, subscribers, whatever, how can I talk to them and encourage them to jump across into my world where, I am in control of the messaging and the marketing channel via email or whatever it might be. I am in control of that. How can I tempt people off? And that's what we've got to think about, because that's what we need to then build when we look. So this behind me here, you've got to put something here that's going to tempt people to click that button. Okay, that's what we're wanting people to do. I hope that's been useful. Thank you very much for coming in here. Oh, here we go. Quick question. Let me just come back to the bigger picture and let me put it in here. So, Landra, do you need to put a disclaimer on the opt-in page? Where shall I put myself? I'll put myself over there. Actually, that looks like I'm eating the comment. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Let's just do it like that. Here we go. Do you need to put a disclaimer on the opt-in page? Okay. What you need to understand is that the law says in the UK, general data protection rules or regulations, you've got to, over here, you cannot tempt someone to give you their details and then you talk about something completely different. In other words, clickbait. If, however, you say to someone, okay, here's my freebie, click on here. A lot of people ask for a double opt-in confirmation. So when somebody puts their details in, the first email that fires off to them is one that says, hi, thanks, it's Nigel here. Just wanted to make sure that this is correct and you want to go forward with this. Just click this button and it'll just confirm your account. Thanks very much. And that's called the double opt-in. And that effectively you could put in there and say, hey, I'm going to keep in touch with you talking about, what I talk about, which is Groove as a software and marketing and business and things like that. And I'm going to share and help you grow your business, support your business with some of the content I share and things like that. That's then clear indication to them that they have said, yes, I want to do it. And by clicking the details, they have effectively opted in. Now, some may argue that the message wasn't clear as to what they were going to get after they opted in. So what are these emails that you're going to send? Well, I would say, look, here it is. I'm going to be talking about all sorts of things related to this in line with what I do on Facebook and what I've done on this presentation or on this here and this free PDF or whatever it might be that you've taken in exchange for your email. I'm going to be talking about that sort of thing. That's fine. And then you put in the email, by the way, at the bottom, by default, it says, by the way, you can unsubscribe at any time. And that's another thing, that you always give people the option to leave. And you should always expect whenever you send out emails that a few people will drop off your list. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. What you are effectively saying, though, is, okay, this is the reason I'm taking your email or your details. I'm going to keep those details safe because I'm going to keep them within an email autoresponder, and that email autoresponder follows the rules of the US government, GDPR in Europe, whatever it might be. And you say, look, and I'm not going to share this data. I'm not going to use this data. I'm not going to give this data to anyone. I'm not going to sell it, and those sort of things. I would recommend that you have a big, long list of all your policies, procedures, disclaimers, and all the rest of it on your website. And you can just say, look, if you want to know anything about my privacy policies or my policies on various things or the disclaimers, then here's a link, and just link them to them all. That's where they can check out, if they're happy with it. But let's face it, if you are in the business of kind of satisfying, thanks, Alandra. If you are in the business of satisfying your customer, why would they have cause to complain? I think people will complain when they end up on your list thinking they're going to be getting top tips about fishing or something, and then you try and sell them a marketing program, or you try and sell them 4,000 widgets, or you try and, you've got them in under false pretenses. But if you're a sensible business person, that is not good business. You want people who come in who are likely to enjoy what you do, who enjoy getting the content that you share, and who are willing and able to purchase whatever you may be offering in terms of products or services. It makes sense, doesn't it? So why would you, send something out that's stupid? And for some people, if they've pivoted their business, so maybe their email list came in on, what might it be? Home DIY. Okay, home DIY. And now they're pivoting to doing e-commerce stores. So Groovecart or Shopify type things. And they're saying, hey, work from home and do your own e-commerce site. But they started with DIY at home improvement sort of thing. What you could do is you could email people and say, hey, look, I'm still going to do a bit of the DIY, but another thing that I've been looking at is e-commerce and doing this from home. So, when you're bored of doing your DIY, why not try and run a business or a shop from home and sell things? And what you could do is, if you are interested in doing that, then just click on this button, because I don't want to send you emails if you're not interested in that. And what you are then doing is you're almost getting them to opt in again. Okay. And when they opt in again, they're effectively saying, yes, I'm happy now to understand a little bit more about e-commerce sites. And the beauty of that is when they come in, you can tag them with an identifier. And an identifier, the first identifier probably said they're interested in DIY. This next one, if they opt into the next kind of sub list, it could say interested in e-commerce. And then when you're sending out emails, if it's an e-commerce one, you can just send it to the people who said they were interested in e-commerce. Okay. And then the DIYs, you can send just to the DIY people. And it's a way of making sure you don't upset people. So there we go. Hopefully, thank you for that question, Alandra. Good question. Good question. I always urge you to check out, your particular rules, regulations, laws, wherever you are. And if you're marketing in a part of the world which has a different set of rules to what you've got, remember that you have to comply by them. So you have to make sure that you follow the rules as to wherever you are marketing. And basically, in this day and age, we are pretty much marketing to the world, or certainly people all around the world can find out things about it. So just be careful on that. Make sure you understand it. Make sure you know what you're doing on there, and make sure that you do things normally, sensibly, with integrity, and correctly. And you explain to people why you are sending emails. And if people don't want to receive your emails, you remind them that they can unsubscribe. There you go. So hopefully that helps. So that's opt-in page part 2. Own your followers. And I don't mean own them in a negative way. What I mean is you're in control of the marketing messages you send to them because you're in control of that marketing channel. There you go. Everything else, you're not. Unless, Mark, hi, Mr. Zuckerberg. You may be watching this, I don't know. But unless you're Mark, and then you do own Facebook. But for the rest of us, no, we don't. We don't. So you want to use it to get your brand, your knowledge, your know, like, and trust out there. But you also need to look after yourself and say, actually, I need this person in my ecosystem. So there we go. End of day 35. We've, what are we? 5 weeks into this. Hopefully it's been helpful and useful for you, and that you've got some good value from it. We've got we finish a week on Sunday, and then I'll have to do another one, some other sort of challenge, I think. So I'm open to ideas. If anyone's got an idea for another challenge, yeah, I'll get my thinking hat on for that. But that could be good. That could be good. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to have, a bit of coffee. And I'm going to say until tomorrow. Oh, hang on. Creaky chair. All right, what we're going to do tomorrow. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to remind you about the button link. Okay. So a simple way to take you to an opt-in page is a button link, and I'll show you that. All right. Perfect. Until then, take care, and I will see you on day 36. Wow. All right. How do you